All right, Chris Filipiak here. I hope everyone is just having a amazing week filled with love and gratitude and is just having a lot of fun kicking ass doing your sales work. First, I just want to start out by saying, if you struggle with your sales work and you're struggling to do it now, or you're working with a sales team that isn't selling, reach out to me. I'll help you get clear on what's going on and share some ideas and some insights that may be able to just unlock that for you and help you just see what's going on. So first, what I want to do is I just want to jump in here and make sure that the stream is working. I always like to check that out, and we'll find out right now. So it looks like we are up on Facebook, and let's just see what's going on here on YouTube, and then we'll dive right in and we will make this happen. So it looks like we're good to go on the stream, which is awesome. And so what I want to talk about today is really designing 4 must-have sales conversations that you need to be having with your clients and how to really have those. So it's a lot of sales books are outdated, and there's a lot of noise in the marketplace about what is going on. So I just want to simplify everything, strip away all of the fat and the bullshit that's out there, and just give you the most essential things that you can use to go ahead and improve your sales conversations today. So before we jump into this, I want to go back to the framework that we've been working with, not that one, this one right here. So your clients, the people that you get the opportunity to help and serve and work with, are on a journey, right? They are where they currently are, and they're trying to improve their life, grow more, source more love, be more creative, get from where they are to a desired situation. So we always talk about that as a current state and a desired state. You'll see this in all sorts of, whether you're doing software development or engineering in a factory, it's always kind of like, where am I now? Where do I want to go? So as a service provider, professional service firm, technology company, you are helping clients through your service or product offering get from their current state to their desired state. But before they can get there, there's this purchasing gap that they have to cross. And this is really the buyer's journey, right? And they have to cross this gap so you can get over here and you can actually start hooking them up with whatever your product or services is. And I like to think of this gap as a whitewater river. I live in Western North Carolina in the city of Asheville, and we have beautiful mountains and white water. So you can think of this gap as a river that your client has to cross. And we all know that white water is dangerous, it's fast, it's usually cold, and buying can sometimes be like that, especially if you're not doing it well. So these are people over here who you can call like your target market or potential clients. And the way they get across this river is by you as a guide helping them cross the river. And so what are the tools that you use to help them cross the river? Well, I think of those tools into, 4 different buckets. You have your people tools, you have your strategy tools, and you have your technology tools. And I represent those different tools as stepping stones, right? So that you as the guide can even help decide if this client wants to cross this river so they can get over here. And then you can help them simply and easily by placing the right stepping stones into the river so they can quickly whoop, 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 right over into your service with very little friction and easily buy from you, easy on you as the guide, easy as you on the client. And so the stepping stone that we're going to focus on today is the stepping stone of conversations. We're not going to go into questions, and I'll actually share why questions are kind of outdated. You still need to have powerful questions, but you shouldn't lead with them. I'll show you what you actually should be leading with in your sales conversations. But conversations, since they're verbal, we talk as humans, as people, they go into the people bucket, and I specifically want to talk about conversations today so that when you're talking to your client, no matter where they are on this river, that you have the tools of conversation to make sure that they are safe crossing that river and that you're helping them as much as possible. So when we're thinking of the conversations we need to have, I think of marketing conversations and sales conversations. So marketing conversations are all about engagement, identifying unmet needs, getting to know the person, being a curious explorer, like understand what's going on so that you can quickly decide if they should cross that river or not, or if they're a good fit for your product or service. And then there's selling conversations, which are all about hooking the person up. Boom, I know you have an unmet need. It matches what I do at my firm. Can I help hook you up, co-create the solution, and actually sell the person so that they actually buy? So those are the conversations that we are gonna look at today. And where's my dry erase marker here? And so what we're gonna do is the marketing conversations that I'm seeing happen today are really happening in 3 channels. So they're happening via email, they're happening via social, boop, get out of here, social, and they're happening via voice, so on the phone, and they're also happening what I'll call like a strategy session, which when it's on the marketing side, it's really a discovery or a discovery conversation here, a little more in depth. So I think of these email, social, and voice. So you have to have a plan for kind of each of those. You can write it out, you can design it ahead of time, and I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like here. And I love designing these conversations with people, like getting really clear on all the other stepping stones and then pulling them all together into like a really cool conversation that's fun and filled with love and delight and is focused on helping the person. And it's not about you, but it's really about helping that other person, even if it's just a short conversation, whether they need what you have or not. So once we have, so these are the kind of the 4 key marketing conversations. And again, you're not selling in these conversations. You're really trying to identify unmet need and I think help the other person with what they have going on in the moment. And I'll talk more about that in a second. And then the other conversation over here is the selling conversation. And I think this is really also a strategy session. And these 2 are connected and they happen really quickly. And there really needs to be a transition and some permission from the client if they're going to go, yeah, you can take me across this river or not. And so that strategy session here, this sales conversation is really about co-creation of the solution or opening. People say closing, but Joe Girard, greatest sales person ever, sold like $13,000 at Morales Chevrolet up in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, says we don't close relationships, we open them. So I love to think about opening the relationships there, but that's really the conversation that you need here. So when you're intention, there's no S here. So when you are designing the conversation, you want to really be thinking about being really clear about what your intention is. And this is where I see a lot of confusion and a lot of clients going in the river, getting cold and wet, which you don't want. I've personally put a lot of people in the river and got people cold and wet, which is not good for me, or anybody, just through inexperience. And as I've been learning and things have been changing in sales, especially with COVID and what's going on. So the first thing is you want to be clear on your intention. And when we come back here, it's like every step of the way, every step, like whether you're marketing or you're selling, you're trying to create safety and put in nice big stepping stones. And every step of the way, you have to be clear about what your intention is. So like if you confuse on the timeline of that customer's journey, whether you're doing marketing work or sales work, then there's going to be confusion for you and for your buyer. And I see a lot of people trying to sell too early. This is going on like crazy on LinkedIn right now. People just selling with no context or information about what they do or what's going on with the client or the company that they are trying to sell. So if you get sales confused ahead of marketing, you're going to have a really bad time. So I think, when COVID struck in early March here in the United States, I was already kind of a long way down this path of changing the nature of the conversations that I was having with people. And COVID kind of crystallized some things in my mind where everyone's problem, what everyone was dealing with, all changed in the moment. So it hit me that, look, I have no idea what's going on with this person, this business owner, this CEO, and they need help with the current situation of COVID and how to, do crisis response and survival and start to rebuild their business. And so I was like, oh my gosh, what needs to happen here is showing up in a space to help the person with what's going on right now. And when I went down that path, I started to realize that's what people need all the time. Like COVID just highlighted everything, and COVID just highlighted everything, and I was like, that's how I'm going to approach my marketing conversations. Any engagement conversation that I'm helping or showing up to have with someone is really from a place of trying to help them with what they have going on in the moment. And the cool thing about that is when you show up in that place to help, you start to demonstrate expertise. Okay? You start to demonstrate expertise, and by helping the person get clear on what they actually want and what the problem is preventing them, or the issue preventing them, so that they can make a decision. Are we still on the board? It looks like it. So they can make a decision about what to do. Okay? Whether that's move into a sales conversation with you or whatever. And that was the big business insight for me, was this idea of demonstrating expertise by helping the person in the moment and having a powerful conversation about what they want and what the problem is preventing them from getting that. And that right there being a huge gift. So instead of trying to tell someone what you do or how you do it or why you're good at, just like show them. Like I'm like, just show them what you do from the very first conversation. So I thought that was kind of a very cool outcome for me. And then the other thing is once you're clear on your intention and you're showing up from a place to help them with whatever they have going on related to your domain expertise. So for me, it's helping sales teams sell, building sales organizations, increasing revenue. that's when you move into stories. I just told you a story about COVID. There's all sorts of stories, and stories are one of the huge stepping stones that you have to have that go hand in hand with conversations, so that when you're having any of these, you have kind of your stories in your back pocket to share with people. And the reason why stories are so cool is that they access fascination, and fascination just drops right through your conscious mind, like into your subconscious, and there's very little friction or objection or resistance to stories. Plus, it invites the person you're talking with to share stories back, right? So there's this exchange of stories that happens. So I love teaching on stories, right, hand in hand with sales conversations. And so if you show up from a place to help and you share stories and create a story exchange, and you understand how to design conversations around stories, then you figure out a lot of what the client or prospective client wants, what the problems are, and you can get all of your questions answered in this frame. And a lot of the outdated sales books, the outdated sales trainings, you really use this questioning, this heavy questioning format to assess what's happening with the business. What do you need? What do you want? What's your budget? Where's your authority? What's the timing? What are the risks? All of those type of parameters around that, and you're just like, it's like the Spanish Inquisition for the client. And so having a questions-based sales conversation, I really think is so outdated and so ineffective, and I'm seeing that in my sales work. There's absolutely a place for powerful questions, but the way I think of it is you have to understand what you need to assess whether that person is going to be a good client, and you start to get at it through helping them and through stories. And after you've done that, then you come in and you clean up any gaps in your knowledge to make a decision or really help them cross that purchasing gap, that river, and clean up with powerful questions and go from there. So that's what I really wanted to share with you today, just to kind of recap. Powerful conversations happen in sales first by understanding the difference between marketing and sales. Marketing is all about engagement, identifying unmet needs, getting to know the person, being curious about what's going on in that person's business related to what you do. I'll talk more about that another time. Sales is all about hooking up the person. Like, you can help this person, you feel it, it's an excellent fit, and now it's just time to hook them up and get the relationship opened. The conversations that you need to have that I suggest you design ahead of time are email, social, voice. So this is phone, Zoom, and then a strategy session focused around discovery, transitioning with permission of the client into a strategy session around co-creating a solution and opening the business. And for every one of those conversations, you want to be clear on your intention. You want to show up from a place of helping. And when you do that, you don't have to talk about expertise. You can demonstrate expertise by getting them clear on what they want, what the problem is, so they can make a clear, empowered decision about next steps. Leading with stories instead of questions, and then using powerful questions to clean up whatever the stories don't uncover. So I hope that's super helpful for you. I hope you can take that today. You can take that absolutely today. As soon as I jump off on this live, I have a timer going off at 2:30 p.m. because that's my time to do prospecting. So in about 19 minutes, I'm going to be jumping on the phone, doing LinkedIn, Facebook outreach, setting up strategy sessions, helping people in the moment. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. If you want any support with your sales conversations, or you are stuck, or you're looking to improve your sales team or effort, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes and see if we can create some clarity in your business that could shift where you're at right now today. Hope you all have an amazing day, and thanks for checking out my stream. Bye.